or access to a wide range of international groceries in his regional town. Thankfully, they don't have to compromise on anything because Ahmed just found apnidukan.com.au, the best way to get 100% halal meat and international groceries delivered to your doorstep. With Apni Dukan, Ahmed picks out the halal meat and groceries that he needs using his smartphone. And Team Apni Dukan receives the order and starts picking the items and packs them in insulated packaging with ice packs. Once the order is dispatched by a refrigerated courier company, Ahmed received a text message letting him know that his order is on its way. Once delivered to the doorstep, Ahmed receives another message letting him know that his order is now delivered. This is incredible. Who would have thought we can get halal meat and international groceries in a regional town like ours? Try apnidukan.com.au today to get your halal meat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وصحبه وبارك وسلم. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us tonight. We are doing the special program on World Cricket Tournament T20 World Cup, which is happening in Dubai, Sharjah, and UAE at this moment. Video is providing you the great long transmission on every match, and we are inviting our great analysts, great sports stars in the past as well. And at this stage, we have a very wonderful guest as well, who is Australian cricket empire. He's umpiring in Australian grounds and in Victoria from last 6 to 7 years. And he's a great cricketer player from Bangladesh, Mr. Muhammad Himal Khan. Thank you very much, Himal Khan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Just to correct you, I'm not a great player. I'm just a good player. But yeah, I do professional cricket umpiring, but I never played on a professional level.
No, that's your humbleness. Thank you so much, Himal Bhai. So, as I said to the Voice of Australia's viewers, that VO is providing the live transmission and an analysis on every single match which is happening. And last night we have a great match is happening, and unfortunately, our team which we are supporting, Australia, they lost from England, which we were not expecting. It was a one-sided game. And before that, as Himal Khan came from Bangladesh, he has a great knowledge on the team of Bangladesh. And we were expecting that Bangladesh will surprise and upset that, which is also known the dead group, like big teams were there. So I'll talk with Himal Bhai what happened with Bangladeshi team, and before the World Cup, the way they were winning the matches, the way they're winning in Australia with the New Zealand, South Africa, England, and they've beaten all those very bigger teams all around the world. And when even on the Bangladeshi situation and the condition of the pitches were not different as compared to Sharjah or Dubai. I would like Himal to analyze the Bangladeshi team, the way they lost their game with Sri Lanka, the way they lost their game with West Indies. We go one by one, and we will gonna see what happens and what they say.
All right. Now, Waqas bhai, there are a few things to clarify. Now, Bangladesh actually, they never played well in T20. They on and off, they had some good results. But traditionally, Bangladesh cricket team, they've got a lot of shortcomings on Test cricket and T20 cricket. We are a stable one-day side, but in terms of Test and T20, we were never that great. Now, yes, you referred about Australia and New Zealand series, but you have to keep in mind one thing. In Australia and New Zealand, a lot of their star players were missing on that Australia and New Zealand team. Plus, one of the biggest negative side of that cricket series is the kind of pitch. Now, it's kind of our board's fault, and at the same time, it's not their fault at the same time. The reason being, due to COVID, players had to be in a bio bubble, and they couldn't, travel all over the Bangladesh because they need to stay in a COVID safe environment. Now, traveling was difficult if you want to make that, that if you want to stay in a bio bubble for COVID safety protocol. So Mirpur pitch has been used a lot for all the domestic game, all the age level games, and you can imagine how many games were played. For a good wicket, you need to give the wicket a rest. A key return needs time to prepare the wicket, so they couldn't do anything. As a result, the pitch was not T20 friendly. The pitch was a heavy spinning track wicket. It was low run wicket. You can see that Australia versus Bangladesh games, most of the games were like they were chasing 110, 115. Australia were bowled out by 60 odd runs. Okay, I understand. The international players needs to adjust their gameplay based on the wicket, but the wicket was not ideal to practice for T20. And Sakib Al Hassan made an interesting comment. If any player play 10 to 15 match on these wickets, their career will be over. So you can understand how difficult it was to bat on. Now, World Cup wickets are totally different. These are sporting wickets. So you can see England can chase runs 120 runs in 12 overs. At the same time, they can bowl an opposition for 55 runs. So if you bowl well, you will get the result. If you bat well, you'll get the result. Now, there's one thing to add. Look, in Bangladesh, we do not. I would say we have a generation gap at this stage. Now, a lot of cricket teams actually went through that generational gap. If you think about in Australia, until 2007, they had Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, and like every single player, whoever used to come, they used to play well. But then, all in a sudden, they had a generation gap. Like they couldn't produce all the great player. It's not necessarily it's the infrastructure issues or something. Sometimes they do have a time, like all the greatest talents doesn't come through. Now obviously Bangladesh had like some good players in the past, but they were not great, like Ashraful and other players. They had on and off good games, but they were never consistent. In Bangladesh cricketing history, there are only 5 players those who were consistent in a big stage for a number of years. They were Mashrafi bin Murtuza, Sakib Al Hassan, Tamim Iqbal, Mahmudullah, and Mushfiqur Rahim. These players were consistent for many, many years. And they're still our Mashrafi Murtuza maybe already retired, but other players are still performing. But at the same time, we couldn't produce enough young upcoming talent. I mean, they're on the way, but they couldn't flourish as they expected.
How do you
People
see
like
Liton Das Himo bhai, the way Liton Das played in the past and somehow he's
all right.
not getting clicking? What do
Yes,
you say
yes.
about him?
See, these players, Liton Das, Somosarkar, I mean, they are talented. They had talent, but the thing is, talent is not. You cannot if you cannot utilize the talent, then your talent is kind of waste. Maybe I can say it's a mental obstacle, or sometimes they cannot handle the the social media pressure or the pressure from people. They think like if they play well, okay, they will be cherished. If they play bad, that's it. You understand how the subcontinent people react. I think player need to
Yeah,
handle
it's
the pressure
yeah. We'll
and player.
go about the discipline and we'll talk about those their reactions which they sometimes shows on the ground or on the heat movement. It
Mhm.
happens. It happens. It's not only I would say Bangladeshi, but other nations, countries they do that as well. The reaction came from the Sri Lankan players as well. But regardless of saying so, do they lost the plot somewhere in the middle with what happened with the especially in the match of Sri Lanka? Like you guys did a good score, and after that you couldn't defend it. What do you
Um,
say about that?
okay.
Because of the bowling or fielding as well?
Okay. On that day, the player, his name is Asalanka. Asalanka and the other guy, I forget his name because Sri Lanka got a lot of new players. Some Rajapaksa. Those
Yep.
two players, they both got a life, and Liton Das dropped 2 catches. So if you drop to set batsman's catches, it's very difficult. And in T20, the batsmen are set, they can hit anywhere in the park. So that's what happened. So everything was going well, but sometimes catches, if you drop a catch, you may lose the match. So exactly that happened with Bangladesh.
Yeah, it's quite understandable. Hemal bhai will go forward as well. Quickly, I want to say what happened in the West Indies match where the people they were playing smoothly and suddenly the collapse of wickets happened and they couldn't save that score as well.
Now, brother, in Bangladesh cricket, there are certain things are not going in the right direction. Currently, the coaching staff they have, it is not up to the standard. Um, Recently, Mashrafi Mortuza made a comment like all Bangladesh cricket coaching staff become a retirement hope of all the South African rejects. They couldn't get a job in South Africa. and they, with their foreign quota, they are coming to Bangladesh and they are getting the job. At the same time, Bangladesh do have a lot of good cricket administrator, coaching staff, and other people. But for some reason, we do not have a history or a culture where we would appoint the Bangladeshi cricket staff. Um, so the reason I'm saying this, Bangladesh, even on that West Indies matches, they drop catches of Jason Holder. Then Jason Holder, uh, I believe, okay, I think it's Jason Holder, but anyways, the batsman's catch the drop. I mean, he made a couple of sixes and stuff. And at the end, we were a bit disappointed with Mustafiz because Mustafiz is a good bowler. He played well in IPL. I don't know whether it's a fatigue or what. He conceded 34 runs in 2 overs, which is totally unexpected. I understand West Indies player, do have the capability of hitting big sixes, but um, when you drop catches, sometimes it's difficult to come back.
Yeah.
Even coming to the batting, Mushfiqur Rahim, he was in form. Like he just made a 50 against Sri Lanka, so the wicket was tough. I think it was a bit pointless, to play a scoop shot. I mean, Bangladesh needed 50 odd runs in 40 odd balls. They had 7 wickets. It was pretty much, unnecessary to play the shots. Like they were not in rush to, the chasing a big total. So when Mushfiqur Rahim gets out, Leighton Das was not in a good form. So he, played like innings, like a one-day innings. He played 42 balls, made 43 runs. I mean, all those things, went against us.
Very hard, like very hard. Like being a cricket fan and cricket lover, I really need to see that Bangladeshi plays as well. Like if you compare, we will talk about the team Afghanistan. How did they give the tough time to Pakistan, and how they have make themselves mature? You can see the people. You can see these players like they are having the knowledge, having the less experience, but having the knowledge. They are trying themselves being professional and giving their 100%, but where we can see the lack in team of Bangladesh, unfortunately, considering they are playing from quite long and they have a lot of experience being playing in IPL in different series. Moving forward, I would like to tell you that people are joining us as well, and Hassan Ahmad saying you Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Hassan Ahmad. And Aswa Khan is saying you Assalamu alaikum, Himal Khan. Glad to see you here. We are glad to see you as well here, Himal Bhai. Now, how do you see so in the future what gonna happen, like the main match which is going to happen tonight? I would like to discuss on that, which is India versus New Zealand. But before that, what happened with Australia and in the match of England? What really happened? Are they not really still
Uh,
well aware?
Correct.
And Shane Warne was also very distracted and was shocked to see the performances, and especially the scenes that Australia has made it. And moreover, what he said, that he can't see the Smith in the best 11.
Hmm. Uh, okay, with Australia, you just made a comment. It unexpectedly they lost. I didn't say it's an unexpected result. It's a pretty expected result. Because if you see in IPL, David Warner is an IPL legend, but I think this is the first time he was dropped from the 11 in Sunrisers Hyderabad. He was not getting selected. He used to be a captain. He used to be an automatic choice. He's not an automatic choice anymore. So he got a he's in not in form. Aaron Finch, I don't know why he. I mean, Australia traveled in Bangladesh. Aaron Finch was injured. He was not in like when a player just come from an injury. Sometimes they're not in a fine form, or sometimes it takes time. Steve Smith, he didn't play IPL for a long time. So when you're not
True.
playing in not even T20 for a long time, and he's not playing in IPL, you may not have ideal preparation. Even Marcus Stoinis, he was injured. He came back in the UAE leg. He came in the last match for Delhi Capitals. So, with all considering all those things, Australia's preparation was not up to the standard. Um, their bowling unit is good, but when you just give 120 to an explosive England side, and when the total is 120, they will always play fearless cricket, and exactly that happened.
True.
If if you do not give enough runs on the board, sometimes it will be difficult to defend on T20.
Unbelievable. And would you be agree like Smith shouldn't be like, as I said, what did Shane Warne said? So that means you agree with that Smith shouldn't be in the best 11 at this stage.
Um, it's not only Smith. There are a couple of players they shouldn't be in the Australian squad. For an example, Matthew Wade. I forget last time when he played well. Maybe my memory is not that good, but I can't remember when he played well. I just don't understand why he's keep playing. Steve Smith, yes, he's an excellent, probably a legend in Test cricket, one of the best in Test cricket. But yeah, I mean, he couldn't prove himself into T20 for a number of years. I mean, he's still a very good batsman. He would do well, but in T20 format, maybe he's not, able to meet the expectation.
All right. We have discussed it quite well with Bangladesh, and let's come later down the track on Pakistan and India. I would want to comment what happening after 2 hours and 30 minutes. New Zealand versus India, and this is the like head-on collision between a knock, and they're gonna be playing the match for their survival in the World Cup. If New Zealand wins, it's gonna be very hard for India to win the other two matches, and they will go to the run rate. And will they qualify for semi-final or not? That depends on the result of today's match. And more wider, it will be important who gonna be win the World Cup. We will do the prediction accordingly. But
Hmm.
Hemo bhai, what do you say about New Zealand versus India? What is happening tonight? And after the biggest first ever biggest loss by Pakistan with the 10 wickets, and you would be surprised for that. Just comment on that first. What happened in Pakistan versus India match? Would you be expecting that?
Um, Again, brother, you have to consider the context of India and Pakistan team. Pakistan team, they're an excellent T20 side. Um, I cannot think of a player who is out of form at this stage in Pakistan team. From Shahin Shah Afridi to Asif Ali to Babar Azam, um, Rizwan Haq, everyone is in form. Everyone is a good touch. Even if you consider Shoaib Malik and Muhammad Hafiz, I mean they've got a lot of experience. They may, I mean, even if they go out of form with their experience, they can come back any given day. So I do see Pakistan probably one of the title contender of this T20 World Cup,
Wow,
and I
that's very
strongly believe
big.
that
Both
Pakistan may
great
win.
statement and Pakistani viewers who are watching this
You have to,
show,
you
they
have
would
to,
be very happy after listening from you.
and especially with Afghanistan. If you see Asif Ali, he hit it 4 sixes. So in T20s, you need a player who got an X factor, who can change the game within an over or two. So Pakistan do have that, especially with Shahin Shah Afridi. I mean, I know it's a big statement, but for me, he's the best T20 bowler at this stage in T20.
All right.
Look at his swing, look at his line, look at his confidence. Confidence is a big deal. The For me, Pakistan team is a full of confidence at this stage. So that will, I think they will play into the final. If they don't play into the final, I'll be very surprised.
The Vikrant Singh, the Indian analyst, said the same thing. Like he would be very surprised if Pakistan would not be in the final. And you'd think the same thing, considering that one very in the cricket is the game which makes love and harmony and increase your relationship and improve the relationship between different countries, despite what happening on the political level or on the country level. But very beautiful scene has come across from Dhaka while when Pakistan has won their match from India, and people in Pakistan, they were watching live, and you would be surprised that that video would be very viral, that people of Bangladesh were supporting Pakistan after quite long. We used to see, when I was childhood, we used to see these all those scenes coming from Bangladesh, but this time after so long we have seen that. So that means Bangladesh is supporting because of Pakistan is playing well, or we're really getting the better relationship on the level of governments.
Okay. Now Pakistan cricket got a big fan base in Bangladesh. Even on my
Oh,
childhood, I've seen that a lot of my school friends, they are big fan of Pakistan cricket. So if Pakistan plays well, even maybe I believe you are aware of that. A lot of Pakistani people live in Bangladesh as well.
yes,
Uh,
true,
yeah. So same with Pakistan. A lot of Bangladesh people lives in Karachi as well.
true.
Uh, no, it's just Bangladesh got a long history of like what's it called? A lot of people got a good memories with Pakistan. At the same time, recently due to political tension, there are, you can see some different vibes. But especially people like of our like older generation, like my mothers, my aunties, a lot of them got a good memories with Pakistan. I understand, a lot of uh, what's it called? Political. mismanagement happened. Certain things, obviously, I've got a fixed and firm stand, but keeping that aside, yeah, Bangladesh do have a big Pakistan fan base.
That's the beauty, bro. The way you have explained, Marshall, like things happen in the past, and we may be the second or third generation who are living and surviving in 2021. So
Yeah.
Marshall, that's a good thing. That the both, the bright nations, and especially with the popular and vibrant population we have in our countries. The thing is that just survive, just have the healthy and productive relationships, which is good for the survival for the countries and in the future as well. So these are the things which makes cricket is the cricket goes credit goes to the cricket. So we need to have everyone has their sort of different thoughts and the thoughts of the past as well, but obviously we need to move forward and think the pictures check about the in a broader and positive perspective as well. So that's a very great gesture. Anyway, let's get back to the cricket, and I would like to talk about the things what's happening in the future as well. Where do you see that which team's gonna be going forward and what gonna happen, like when you say Saudi, I would like to comment. I need to know about the New Zealand team and their perspective as well. India has lost match from Pakistan, but New Zealand lost their game as well from Pakistan. So psychologically, they both lost their confidence, as like they couldn't give their 100%. That's why they lost the game. But what do you think? What will be the mindset of this time, or especially where the social media is also, that what happened in Pakistan when New Zealand came and they canceled their whole trip, and after that, our social media expert and memer specialists, they have literally gone to their pages, which I do not really appreciate that, but they have psychologically, obviously, you know, give the notion to them like they have won. And obviously, what I would like to know what their mindset at this stage, especially New Zealand team.
Um, Look, brother, New Zealand definitely. I just don't understand why they canceled the series. I mean, if there's a security threat, they shouldn't be in Pakistan first in the first place. Uh, yeah, I mean, their stance, literally, stunned me. I just don't understand why they're claiming the security issue when Bangladesh traveled to New Zealand. They had a very Bangladesh had a very bad experience. So sometimes security thing, it's just beyond your control. Uh, so yeah, for me, yeah, New Zealand should have canceled the series first because certain things were not going in the right direction. What happens in neighboring countries of Pakistan? It's a different political situation. But I mean, if they have a lot of doubt in mind, they should have proposed to take the series in UAE or somewhere. I mean, could have been an ideal preparation for both Pakistan and New Zealand. Anyways, coming back to India versus New Zealand, I think this match will decide who is going to the semi-final from this group.
True.
Um, but don't discount Afghanistan. Um, I mean, the the confidence level they are showing. I think Afghanistan may come to third. I mean, even if they miss, they'll be very unlucky to miss. But yeah, I mean, I love the fearless cricket of Afghanistan. Um, Pretty much,
That's
they've nothing to lose. But with India,
unbelievable.
I would give slightly advantage. I mean, advantage to India because I think their squad depth is pretty good. Even though Shikhar Dhawan should have been in the squad, but yeah, it's just the experienced cricketer of Indian team. They may just edge over New Zealand. Even though New Zealand is a pretty good team, if they beat India, I won't be surprised. But with the current form, I
Hmm.
would just give my prediction towards India.
Yeah, no, that's very right. I agree with you because if you mention, if you remember that from 2003, India has not won a single match in the World Cup from New Zealand. That's another record which the gurus
Good.
always says, regardless. And you know what happened in the semi-final of the World Cup, which they have faced each
Yeah.
other. At
Mm.
or if I'm not wrong, how much they did? 140 or something? Not sorry, 230 or 40. That which
Yeah.
is not a big total. The semi-final,
Yeah. Yeah.
and India were already celebrating because that match went for 2 days, and the second day they couldn't even achieve that whole score. So, do you think after losing the game from Pakistan, India will very not be like will be very careful and not be overconfident as they are always in the past? And also, I would like to know about the Hardik Pandya. He's facing so much criticism, but we know that Hardik Pandya is another player as like what Pakistan has, Asif Ali. So, what do you say about that?
Um, I think our sometimes our subcontinent players they couldn't handle the criticism of social media. Um, just yesterday, Mashrafi Murtaza was making a comment. Bangladesh cricket team players should stop using Facebook and other social media while in a series. I mean, I completely agree with that. I think somehow our subcontinent players, take all those criticisms into their brain. Hardik Pandya is a good player, but the way he played last couple of years, even in IPL, he couldn't do well, and probably he's still unfit for bowling. So, I mean, if the criticism comes, if you cannot bowl, better to play a solid batsman. I mean, he can bat well, but if you're not fit, better you give your spot to someone who can contribute in a better way.
Right. So, but I think does it work like because people in subcontinent Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, cricket is sort of very attached emotionally with us. I wouldn't say sometimes some people they say that it's for religion, some for some people, but is it not the right advice? I would think like stay away from the social media because after criticism you given negative comments, you don't know what it comes in, what players are facing. I would tell you, in the time when Babar Azam was making 50 and he was playing against India, do you know like his mom was undergoing to the surgery and she was in an anesthetic condition, and nobody knows that after today, like his father Azam Siddiqui Saab, he mentioned that on the media that his mom was not feeling well and she underwent to the surgery. So look at that, subhanallah, how the people react, and we are just like a keyboard warrior. And sometimes the same thing Pakistanis does. They were criticizing Haris Rauf, the pacer, 100, who has done the 150, 153 kph speed, and other player which is Asif Ali. We were criticizing them very badly. So in the end they performed, and now they are giving the apology messages. And at the same time I would like to give the accept the acknowledgement of the people. Naz Mehman is very anxiously watching you and saying you Assalamu alaikum. Sajad Hassan is saying Assalamu alaikum. Sajid Tori is saying Assalamu alaikum and saying the great analysis. Thank you very much. We'll come back to the question, Naz Mehman, on you what you asked, but I will ask you, Himal Bhai. So psychologically, it happens, what if you see the social media, which isn't it?
Yes, brother. Even if you look at Virat Kohli's comment, I mean, obviously he made a good. I mean, he made a good stance. Like maybe in India, people are criticizing Muhammad Shami's religion, and in Bangladesh, some what's it called? Racial comment has been made with Litan Das's performance, and to some extent, some business organization they said we will give that percentage of discount, the amount of run Litan Das will make. So I mean, they take these things in a sarcastic level, and people definitely, the players, they couldn't handle it well. The reason I'm saying this, first of all, I think our players shouldn't make any comments about it, even if this sort of question asked to Virat Kohli and other people's. I mean, you can condemn, but this sort of criticism, we better do not make a comment. For an example, I would like to give an example of Quinton de Kock. Quinton de Kock, whatever he has done, I mean, he got his personal reason. When this question was asked to Bavuma, he rejected. He says it's just his personal choice. We are not making any comments. So I think that's how it should be addressed. If you look at the world of football, after achieving so much things, even Messi and Ronaldo, they every single day they're criticized for their actions. Like, oh, they cannot score goal against this opponent, that opponent. They've done. I mean, they're the greatest player in the football history. But have you seen the criticism affects them? I don't think so. It affects them. So that's how our cricketing world should, learn this thing and stay away from those comments and all those vibes. Yeah, I mean, management got a big part to play. Cricket management got a big part to play.
Exactly. Now, as you give the example of Quinton de Kock, like all the focus has shifted from the cricket, his performance. He's batting to the issue which is not the sports relevant, but obviously it's important as well, which is equally important. But it is good, like we are involving those things in the game and sports for the awareness for the people to have some tolerance. And which is very unfortunate, which is happened with Muhammad Shami as well on the same time as you mentioned. But saying so, yeah, when the focus should be the cricket, because cricket is the one which makes us closer to each other. Saklan Mustaq, Pakistani coach, has mentioned that he is looking forward to see India versus Pakistan again in T20 World Cup 2021. What do you say about that?
I don't see any chance India and Pakistan playing a final.
Just because obviously you can't say Pakistan can't go to the final. You already mentioned that, but
Um,
you mean you have a doubts on the India?
the way I see things, I don't know what's the calculation of semi-final, but I see more of an India versus no, sorry, Pakistan versus England in finals. In
Pakistan versus England will be in the final. And do you think they will make at least the semi-final? India?
India, I mean, yeah, they do have a good chance. If you look at the opponents, they've got Scotland, Namibia, Afghanistan. I think India should be able to beat them. If they beat New Zealand today, I think it will be a pretty easy run for them.
All
But
right.
again,
And you see,
I would be very curious to see what's happened India versus Afghanistan. India may still win, but Afghanistan may give them a hard time, like they give a hard time to Pakistan.
true, true, true. And I don't know why all the cricket gurus, even in the England and Australia as well, saying either they would make it upset, Afghanistan would make it upset either with India or Pakistan. So they couldn't make it Pakistan. So everyone is looking at in India that they do definitely make a upset because of the spinning attack. Let's see Rashid Khan. If you have seen the match of Rashid Khan, they played with the three spinners, and their captain Nabi got the Rashid Khan in the end of the match. What do you think? That's the only crucial thing what they have done and they got wrong, or they should get earlier Rashid Khan to attack to Pakistan team, then they could save that match.
Look, brother, Rashid Khan is a star bowler. Sometimes in T20 cricket, it's difficult to control. I mean, control to difficult to control things. Asif Ali, the kind of hitting he was doing, I don't think so. Like Rashid Khan would have make a big difference because he had full of confidence. He had a kind of attitude. Okay, I will hit. Doesn't matter whoever you are. So even if you look at the Australia versus England game, Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood, they all leaked a lot of runs. So sometimes
True.
you can be a star bowler, but if the batsman connected well, your good bowling may not be enough.
True, true, true. And let's talk about South Africa versus Bangladesh. Do you have any hopes to have some upside on that particular match?
Um, I predicted Bangladesh won't win any match in this World Cup in the group stage. I mean, they could have
Oh
won.
dear.
They could have won against Sri Lanka and West Indies. If they could have win things, they could have been to the semifinals. But right now, pretty much they don't have any option. They do have a very slight hope of getting into the semifinals, but I don't think so. They will go to the semifinal. I mean, all the papers are writing how Bangladesh can reach to a semifinal, but I mean, I'm a fan of Bangladesh cricket, but I don't think so. They're making it. They're making things difficult for them. Bangladesh is missing Tamim Iqbal and leadership of Mashrafi Murtuza. I understand Mashrafi, retired from T20 4 or 5 years back, but if you look, India bring Dhoni as a mentor. Um, Mashrafi, he can influence the teammates in a way
Yep.
no other can do it. Um, Especially our subcontinent players, they are very emotionally attached. Sometimes they need
True.
to feel loved while they are playing. If the team atmosphere is not right, they cannot perform. If you look at brother in with the incident of Pakistan, before Misbah Haq's captaincy, things were not going in the right direction. But when Misbah Haq took the leadership, Pakistan became the number one test team. And
True.
under the guidance of Misbah Haq, Pakistan played pretty well. So sometimes in subcontinent nations, you do need a leader who can inspire you, who can create the right atmosphere, to flourish.
No worries.
Bangladesh is
Nas Mehman is last question I saw I missed from the Nas Mehman. She mentioned that Australian batsmen are known as very good batsmen, special hitters like Finch, Aaron, and David Warner. and Maxwell as well. So they are not clicking as well. What would you say to Naz Memon? You already covered that, and she is still having the high hopes on Australia.
Um, it. I mean, from this Group B, it would be an interesting scenario. Who would go to the semi-final? Uh, it's pretty much it's a tough call. I would say to for the second spot of semi-final team, pretty much it's the door is open for every single team. South Africa can make it. Sri Lanka can make it. Australia can still make it. Uh, so it would be an interesting choice.
True.
But with West Indies, I am a bit upset to see Sunil Narine is not playing, and pretty much I mean, Chris Gale is a legend, but I mean, he's not the same Chris Gale of 5-10 years back. I mean, yeah,
The
he's
thing
over.
is that everyone is saying that Chris Gale only performed on all the real leagues, like he's known as from the biggest hitter of the 60s, like after Shahid Afridi, and he's very senior. But for some reason, he's not clicking in the World Cup, which is very astonishing and disappointing at the same time with
Huh.
the West Indies. So even they are the world champions, like, and what they have done with in their first match with the England, it was quite surprising. So again, Himal bhai, I would like to know what is the upset you are looking forward from this stage till the final 15th of November. Where will be you seeing any sort of upset? Do you think Afghanistan will make any sort of upset, or any other small team which is not
Uh,
considered as like a favorite?
Brother, when you say upset means a team whatever they should be doing, they can do it. With Afghanistan, I don't see it as a upset. With Afghanistan, I see it's a fact that they're a very good T20 side, um, and they can produce good results. Upset, I would say, if Bangladesh goes to semi-final, that would be an upset because uh, their their confidence level is pretty bad inside the dressing room. Maybe the situation is not going in the right direction because of the criticisms and stuff. That is called an upset. What you're not expecting. I don't see any upset is coming. I see all the well-performing team is going to a semi-final.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Himal Bhai. The way you explain about and you give your analysis to our viewers is very amazing. And I would like to tell you that because you have so much deep knowledge, and keep having a great eye, especially on the World Cup matches. I would like to invite you again for your critical analysis on the final and semi-finals later down the track as well.
Thank you.
And moreover, and we have a big following of our Bangladeshi viewers as well, which I really respect them, and I really appreciate them that they are following us and they're watching our programs and giving their feedback as well. Being having the background of Bangladeshi, I would like you to give them a comment and a message for being motivated and stay with their team and be supportive and be positive as well. I would like that you would give them the great message in your language if you want.
Okay. Um, ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে, আপনারা যারা বাংলাদেশ থেকে দেখছেন। আমাদের জন্য একটা কঠিন সময় যাচ্ছে, কিন্তু আম, আশা করি পরবর্তী ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপে যদি আমাদের ম্যানেজমেন্ট এবং কোচিং স্টাফের সঠিক পরিবর্তন হয় এবং সঠিক পরিকল্পনার মাধ্যমে আমরা হয়তো ভালো রেজাল্ট আশা করছি। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Beautiful. Thank you so much once again, Himal Bhai, for being with us on the Voice of Australia. Look, we are a very sport-loving nation. The background of even Australia is a great sport nation as well. And at the moment, they are not playing well, and hopefully, they will show their passion and the motivation, and they will come back on their, on their form which they are known for as well for T20. Especially, I think I wouldn't be remembered, and I wouldn't be surprised because they haven't played such type of astonishing innings in the subcontinent, in Dubai, or even in Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. They haven't been surprised us later. But let's see what Australia plays. And thank you so much once again, Himal Bhai. It's a great player, and I'm so humbled that you would be with us on the Voice of Australia. And thank you so much once again. I will invite you later down the track. And Voice of Australians viewers, I will really appreciate and thank you so much for being with us and giving your great feedback and loving our program, especially the transmission which we are doing for the whole World Cup. Our second host Sajid Turi is coming in the special occasion on different matches as well, and I had a show with you, Himal Bhai. So inshallah, we will stay tuned and we will see tonight who's gonna be winning. Your last prediction: India versus New Zealand. Himel bhai, what do you say?
India will win.
India would win. I would say that India would win, but let's see if here New Zealand will surprise them or not. And I would be saying the same thing because it's in the history of India. They always lose the first match of the World Cup, and then they come back after being so much, criticized by the media, and they do the. And unfortunately, Kohli's luck is being questioned. But see who plays well, they will win the match. And let's see who wins the game in the end. And whoever plays well, they will win the game. All right. Thank you so much, all viewers. And we will take permission from you and we'll see you in the next program. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.